In this video, I'm going to break down why Giannis Antetokounmpo finally brought a championship to the city of Milwaukee. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, welcome to you as well. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you're probably wondering, why on earth is there a video on a Friday? We usually only get content on Tuesdays. Well, you're right, and this was completely unplanned, but I was watching the NBA Finals post-game interviews, and Giannis said something that I feel like every single youth athlete and youth sport parent needs to be able to hear. Here it is.
I mean, you're 26 years old, and I've covered plenty of players who didn't seem like they figured the ego part out until their 30s. I mean, who taught you about why that's important, and to handle it that way?
I think I'll say life. Usually, let me tell you this. Usually, when from my experience, right? Like when I think about like, oh yeah, I did this. I'm so great. I had 30. I had 25, 10, and 10, or whatever the case might be. Because you're going to think about that. Oh, we won this and that. Usually the next day, you're going to suck.
Right.
Simple as that. You like the next few days, you're going to be terrible. And I figured out like a mindset to have that like when you focus on the past, that's your ego. I did this. We were able to beat this team 4-0. I did this in the past. I won that in the past. Right. And when I focus in the future, is my pride. Like, yeah, next game 5, I'll do this and this and this. Right. I'm going dominate. That's your pride talking. Like it doesn't happen. Like you're right here, and I kind of like try to focus in the in the moment, in the present, and that's humility. That's being humble. That's not setting no expectation. That's going out there enjoying the game, competing at a high level. And I think I've had people throughout my life that helped me with that. But that's a skill that I've tried to like kind of, how you say, kind of like perfect it. Master it. And it's been working so far.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Now, I want to extend a thank you for the Milwaukee Bucks for posting that clip. And I want to spend a little bit of time here with you on a Friday breaking down what he said, why it was so important, and what it means for every single developing athlete and their parents. I'm going to do that because I think within that clip lies a very important secret to Giannis's success that absolutely any developing athlete or parent can put to work to make sure that their athlete or performer positions themselves to have the best possible success. Before I dive in, if you're already inspired by Giannis to start investing in your mental game, I've got a great place for you to start, and good news, it's free. I want you to get over to trainwithperk.com/free guide. What you're gonna find there is a 100% free 10-minute guide. It's got 3 easy to install steps that absolutely any athlete or performer can use to better mentally prepare for their next big moment and put together a great performance just like Giannis did throughout the course of these finals. It's really gonna help. Again, that's trainwithperk.com/free guide. All right, so let's dive into the lessons that any developing athlete or performer can learn from Giannis. The first and probably most important is to understand just how incredibly self-aware Giannis has become at such a young age. Self-awareness is honestly one of the most powerful skills that not only athletes, but honestly anyone can use to better position themselves to have more success in their life. The reason for that is because self-awareness is the ability to understand the impact that you have on the environment around you, as well as the impact that you have on yourself. He starts out the clip by saying that one day he realized that if he allows his ego to drag his mind back in the past and focus on how good he's been and how well he's been doing, if he did that, odds are he was gonna suck for the next few days. I believe the age-old cliche is that you can't solve a problem unless you're first able to recognize that there is one. And so self-awareness has become a core teaching of every single one of my one-on-one clients, and it's also a foundational principle of any of the courses that you'll see over on my website. Self-awareness is at the heart of everything that I do because I say this often to every single one of my clients. If you want to be a high-level athlete, then no one can understand you better than you understand yourself. For example, I just started working with a new one-on-one client this week, and my message to him in these first couple sessions was very clear. It's my job to help him understand and learn as much as he can about himself. He needs to, for example, understand how he thinks in certain situations. He also needs to understand why he thinks that way in those situations, and he better understand whether or not those thought processes are productive for him in those moments. It's very clear based on Giannis's quote in that clip that this is an area that he has spent a ton of time developing. The second thing I want you to focus on is Giannis's improved ability to control his attention. He's really clearly spent a lot of time learning how to discipline his mind and harness his focus when he needs to. Because the real simple lesson here is that your mind, your attention, your focus in any given moment can only ever be in one of three places. It can be in the past, it can be in the present, and of course it can be in the future. Because of all the training and the work that he's put in, what Giannis was able to realize and become hyper aware of is the ability to recognize in any given moment is his mind where it needs to be. This is honestly something that a ton of the athletes that I come across really have a hard time with. They have a hard time with distractions. Some of those distractions pull their mind into the past and keep it there, such as making a mistake and not getting over it, or maybe they made that mistake and now their coach has really gotten on them. Other distractions tend to pull their mind towards the future, such as worrying about what's going to happen in the game, or even worrying about what people that they care about are going to think about them, depending on the result that they get from that competition. Giannis has clearly invested time and energy and effort into training his mind to do exactly the things that I work so hard on with my clients. That is, number one, the ability to recognize in any given moment where your mind is. Giannis has clearly really invested time, energy, and effort into developing exactly what I work so hard on with my one-on-one clients, especially when it comes to focus. Number one, he's learned to recognize when his mind isn't in the moment. Number two, when he recognizes this, he's also able to recognize very quickly where is his mind if he's distracted. And number three, he's established a mechanism or two to, when he recognizes that he's distracted, to quickly refocus himself and place his mind and his focus and his attention on exactly what it needs to be. One of these mechanisms could be how he talks to himself and gets him back in the moment as soon as he's realized that he's distracted. But also, you'll notice that when he steps up to the free throw line, he's often taking a nice, big, deep breath, and that what he's doing there's a lot of intent behind that breath, in that he's getting his focus, he's controlling his focus, he's finding it so that way he can direct it on this act of shooting the free throw. All right, the last big takeaway I'll give you from his statement, because after all, it is a Friday, is that Giannis was finally able to get over that hump, that hurdle, and win a championship in the NBA when he finally started investing in the mental side of his sport. Listen, Giannis has never had much of an issue in the other areas of athletic development. I mean, his nickname is the Greek Freak after all. But it's clear the secret to his success this year and how he's been able to deal with the immense pressure that's been put on his shoulders. I mean, my goodness, this man brought a championship to a city who hadn't won one for 50 years. He was able to do that and accomplish his goal because he finally invested or made an investment in the mental side of his sport. Giannis's talents and gifts brought him to the NBA, but it's clearly the mental side that finally got him over the hump, and he got himself a ring. So huge congratulations to Giannis. If you enjoyed that video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, make sure that you get over there to trainwithperk.com/free guide, get you that free guide, and start honing your mental game just like Giannis did. I'll see you next week.